and welcome to the Just Rhonda inside the wrongful conviction of Daniel Holtzclaw, live Bob video cast, whatever we like to call it.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What?
I hear a pretty good echo.
Uh-oh, for me? I'm having sound issues.
Well, that was better.
That sounds much better. Yeah.
Okay. All right. My microphone might be too close to my computer. Welcome to everybody in chat. And we are coming to you live from Oklahoma. Woo! Oh!
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Where crimes aren't real, but the convictions are.
Oh, Lord. What the heck?
Well, it's a different kind of atmosphere here, particularly weather-wise. Not many of us are very acclimated. Well, okay, I'm not acclimated to.
You had it right the first time.
Yeah, it's hard to get acclimated to this temperature and humidity. So we've been, just kidding, calm down. We've been going out during the day and doing some sightseeing, or however you want to call it, but it's just too hard. I mean, the air conditioner in Kay's car is fabulous, fantastic.
Just call it what it is, Rhonda. We've been doing drive-bys.
We've been doing drive-bys. That's right. You are absolutely right, Susan. We've been doing drive-bys, but we're going to plan a little bit different of a drive-by, or more detailed of a drive-by later, that we'll share with you guys in a few weeks after we get everything back to normal and edited and everything. So, but yeah, it's very hot, very humid, and if you're not been a part of that for a minute, it's hard to, it can be a little sickening. So, but we're here, we're ready to podcast with you folks and share some information with you that you maybe have not heard before. Because even though we have read this before, it's no, I did not. I didn't bring a battery operated fan, but it stays really nice and cool in this house for the most part. It's a big house, gorgeous house. We're all here in the same house, but we're all in a different room to be able to be on the panel. So, we still have business to do, and that is, talking about stuff in Daniel's case. So, we still want to keep that rolling, and this time it just happens to be live from Oklahoma. So, you're feel free to ask any questions that you'd like to from, no matter what the topic is. We can, stop and talk about anything that we're seeing or finding here in Oklahoma, or we can, the questions that you can ask pertaining to what we're going to talk about today specifically, those questions are welcome as well. Any question is welcome. Some of us don't have a problem with TMI. Most people do.
What?
You're talking about
myself.
Oh,
I have no problem sharing my information.
Yeah, Rhonda. I thought you were throwing me under a bus.
Oh, no.
I knew
I'm
it was
not throwing anybody under the bus but my own damn self. So,
right.
We're not sure if Jack is going to make it to stream for Foul Play. So if you're kind of listening in on my channel waiting for Foul Play to come in, I'm not sure that he will. So just stay here. And if you're not already subscribed, and you're from Foul Play, please subscribe while you're at it, because that would be really amazing.
Can someone post on Foul Play that Jack's not going to be streaming and post Rhonda's link?
Well,
Is
he's
that
not
against the rules?
No,
I don't know.
well. Oh yeah, you mean in the Discord? Yeah, that would be nice if someone could do that.
I will do that.
Oh, thank you. Susan's going to do that for us. And while Susan's getting that ready, I'm going to pull up a.
Dark Side beat me to it.
Oh,
Thank you, Dark.
Of course. Really, really quickly, while I'm getting ready to pull up this document as I'm working on that, there are several in chat. JD's been here a while. Hey, JD, my West Coast homie, Neverly, darling. Thank you for being here. TJ is lurking, of course, and I love it. And Inexplicable Susan is in the chat. Dark Side is in the chat and grabbing some links. And I think I don't recall has been spotted in the chat as well. So it's a few of us here, but I don't care. We're still going to present what we have. So welcome to those of you who are here and in the chat and watching. And we're going to get ready to. What we're going to discuss with you tonight is the arrest warrant for Daniel. We're going to read to you, or read with you, or for you, the affidavit that was written by Detective Kim Davis, to get the judge to sign for the arrest warrant for Daniel. And, some people might think, well, it's just an affidavit for an arrest warrant. Not this one. This one is not like any other affidavit for an arrest warrant that I've ever read. So that's what we're going to do. But I first want to play a little 3.5-minute clip for you from Brian Bates, if y'all don't mind. Appreciate. Here we go.
Detectives have not yet begun to contact individuals they feel may have been assaulted by Officer Holtzclaw. Yet, the public has now been put on notice that there is indeed an officer under investigation. They also now have a basic idea of the specific allegations against him. Over the next few days, the evidence from Holtzclaw's patrol car is analyzed. Despite extensive searching by CSI technicians for the presence of fingerprints or DNA, they could find no evidence to support Ligon's claims. In addition, the results of Ligon's SANE test or rape kit have returned. Despite being tested only a couple of hours after she alleges she was forced to perform oral sex upon Holtzclaw, the tests reveal no DNA from Holtzclaw, no pre-ejaculate, and no signs of sexual contact. Detective Kim Davis, however, is not thwarted. In fact, confirmation bias has taken such a hold on her that I am reminded of this quote she gave the Oklahoman newspaper.
We'll take our time and we'll verify everything the girl said, or we'll verify everything he said. And that's the way the chips are going to fall. And everything the girl said verified, and nothing he said did.
Everything the women said verified, and nothing he said did. Let's review that. Janie Liggins claims that when she was stopped, Holtzclaw forced her to place the palms of her hands onto his patrol car as he patted her down. Holtzclaw said that didn't happen. An extensive forensic examination turned up no fingerprints nor DNA to back up Liggins' claim. Janie Liggins claimed Holtzclaw placed his hands on the roof of his patrol car to block the view of passing motorists. Again, Holtzclaw denies that ever happened. And, once again, the forensic examination turns up nothing to support Liggins' assertions. Liggins claims she was forced to perform oral sex upon Officer Holtzclaw, a claim Holtzclaw adamantly denies. A SANE test or rape kit is performed on Liggins. No DNA, no pre-ejaculate, and no other evidence of sexual contact is found. Liggins claims they repeatedly called the Spring Lake and Hefner briefing stations and even spoke with someone at the Hefner station. No evidence supporting those phone calls was ever provided to the defense, nor shown at trial. Liggins claims Holtzclaw just casually and quickly unzipped his pants and exposed his erect penis. Yet, The video evidence showing what all Holtzclaw is wearing makes that scenario highly unlikely. And lastly, the surveillance video clearly leaves no more than an 11-minute window in which Holtzclaw could have all the conversations both parties agree took place and allow him to commit a sexual assault. Again, a series of events that is not backed up with a single thread of evidence and appears to defy the reality of the constraints of time.
And everything the girl said verified, and nothing he said did.
I will continue to play this clip throughout this podcast, and its departure from reality will only continue to be more apparent.
Okay, so that was just a little clip from Bates' podcast, holtzclawtrial.com. I believe that Kay put a link or at least referenced it in the chat. If you go to holtzclawtrial.com, or rather Podbean, or wherever you like to listen to podcasts, it's episode 4 in the Janie Liggins allegations. Sorry. Hey T1, welcome. So great to see you here. That is, and Under Your Scars, welcome. Thanks for being here. And so that is just kind of a brief idea of what, that we know from the presentation from Dr. Silkman, that there was no DNA from Daniel in Janie Liggins' SANE exam. And there were also no prints on the top of, or anywhere actually, on his patrol car. And it doesn't really show the parts of the patrol car where he would have placed his hands or where she would have placed her hands. Doesn't show that very clearly. What it does show, though, is that car was really dirty. The patrol car was very dirty from, rain and sprinkles and stuff like that, dirt mixing with dirt and things like that. And so, which would have very clearly shown that the car had been touched by somebody, or, it's one of the worst annoying things for me is when my kids were younger, if the window on my van or my car was dirty, or anybody for that matter, walk by and wash me in the window or something because of, a sprinkle or something like that. And that's kind of what you would have seen on Daniel's car if they had indeed either one of them touched his patrol car.
Which is why they didn't take any pictures of that.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Okay.
And I'll just say, we actually went to that site where Janie Liggins was pulled over yesterday. And it's really amazing, when you haven't actually been there or seen it, your mind has conjured up this picture, even though you've maybe seen maps and all kinds of things. But the thing that surprised me the most is this is a very narrow street. It's not a wide boulevard. It's, 2-lane, very narrow. And he pulled over where he pulled her over. They were actually kind of, what do you call it, like right in the street, and there's a lane to their left. But yeah, it was just very different than what my mind had conjured up. But and also to see where that camera was from the building. There was actually a building directly across the street from the stop. I guess they claim there were no cameras from that building. It would have been much better view. But yeah, it's interesting to see it firsthand.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. Yeah, that was, hey, so Kay, Cherie, and Susan, people in chat, I'm trying to adjust my sound issues. So if it starts to sound guitar-y or
You sound fine.
funny, does it sound okay? All right. All right, because I can hear better with my headphones on, so I want to try it again. But yeah, thank you, Susan, for that. It was very true. I think it was that way for Cherie and Susan and I, because, well, I'm not saying that Kay drives by it all the time, but I would imagine she's probably seen that area and already knew how narrow or wide those streets were, but we were really taken aback by how narrow all the streets are where all of his alleged crimes took place. So it was really fascinating. We did, I guess I should preface that we did some drive-bys yesterday, like we said, and I think we went by most of the places where accusers claim something happened. We didn't spend time. I did grab some pictures, but we're planning a much better tour of that to share with you.
We went to the rapey schoolyard.
Yeah.
It's just much smaller than I thought it was. And some of the buildings are gone that were there at that time, but yeah.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So we'll share all of this with you guys once we get back to our regular lives in our own homes. We'll it'll be a few weeks, but we'll put together a kind of our tour to share with you of what we've done. You guys know me. I'm really picky about things. I like things to be as good as I can possibly make them with my limited skills. And so I want to make sure we do it right and share the best possible tour with you that we possibly can. So it'll be a few weeks or so, but we'll share all of the pictures and video and details with you when we get back. But yes, it was very fascinating to see some of the houses are much smaller, of course, in person than what some of us have visualized. So
very small houses, very narrow little streets between them. A lot of houses. The places where these alleged things happened, it's just right out in the open, where there's just houses everywhere. And it's just hard to imagine that, well, we know none of
houses
it
on
happened.
all sides. Yeah, houses on all
sides. Yeah. And just narrow little streets. It's not like it was, small front yards. It's not like these houses were, set back or anything. It's like
it's all right there.
It's all right there.
Adara's house is gone though. It's a vacant
empty
lot now.
Yeah.
Under Your Scars, we are currently on our trip. We are coming to you live from Oklahoma right now. So welcome to the chat. And we're just kind of briefly discussing some things that we've done and seen so far. Hasn't been much yet, but we're working on a well mapped out tour to give you a video of, so that you can kind of take the trip with us after we get back, if that makes any sense.
Just way too many potential witnesses, T1.
Yeah,
it's just the silliest stories, that just can't possibly be true. Just seeing the areas and then, just
Oklahoma, the king of wild stories. Like yesterday, we were driving by the state capitol building.
Oh my gosh.
A highway patrolman had an entrance blocked off with his lights on, and I said, "Oh wow, the highway patrol is the governor's security here in Oklahoma." And I thought, well, they're just, maybe the governor's coming out and they're just whatever. And then we heard later
this morning
that there was a bomb threat to the attorney general's office. And so Susan was playing a newscast this morning. Go ahead, Susan. Tell them what the newscast said.
Yeah, the newscast said there was a bomb threat to the attorney general's office. They called in and let them know that they were on their way to the Capitol building in a black Jeep. and with a bomb. So, the highway patrol went there, sat there. I saw 5 cars altogether there and waited for the guy to show up and arrested him.
No gun, no
Now,
bomb.
no bomb, no nothing, no gun. So, what's your assessment of that, Kate?
Seems like somebody might not have liked the person in the black Jeep, but knew that the black Jeep was headed to the Capitol and said that. And then the guy in the black Jeep got arrested, and the cops patted themselves on the back real hard, and they're real happy about how
Getting the guy.
they got him.
He drove right to him. He called him on his way. Hey, I'm coming with the bomb.
In a
This
black
is what I'm
Jeep.
driving in a black Jeep.
What the hell? Anyway,
Oh,
we're in
Jesus.
Oklahoma.
Yep. So let me go back and answer under your scars question here. No, we have not seen Richard. I have not yet emailed him. I will do that this evening as soon as we're done with this live. And we're not able to visit. None of us are on Daniel's visiting list except for Kay. And but even though she's able to have visits with him via I don't know what
Skype.
they call it, Skype kind of thing, I guess you'd call it. We're not allowed to be a part of it. So,
But they could see from across the room, so at least they got to listen to him interact with me. But
yeah,
they couldn't be a part of any of that.
right. I can tell you though. This may sound inappropriate, but I will tell you that from what I was able to hear and what I was able to see, Daniel is a very sweet young man, very compassionate and caring and very considerate. And he is very handsome. I just have to say that he's very, very handsome. And so, with all the ugly things you read about him on the internet, it's just from what I was able to observe and hear very briefly, none of that's true.
I agree with all of the above.
Yeah.
Sweet, handsome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Humble.
Very, very, very humble sounding. And, we were, Kay was discussing, sending him a package, a care package. And he just was like, no, I don't need anything. Don't send anything. And I don't need anything. I'm fine. I have my canteen. I had, it was really sweet to hear him, knowing where he is and the freedoms that he has lost. And then to just say when somebody's trying to just offer, or is, letting them know that they're offering this very not fancy at all care package to him that he's allowed to have. It's TJ, stop. You're killing me.
But damn it, they didn't have Skittles available.
Yeah, there were no Skittles. It's a very, very basic care package. But he just, when he found out that it was indeed ordered, he was, as much as he said, no, don't do that. Don't send me anything. Don't spend your money on me. He was so grateful to hear that. Yeah, he was so grateful to hear that there was one actually coming. So, and we will let him know via letters or when Kay speaks to him again next time that you all are sending cyber hugs for him. He knows it, he feels it, and he is greatly appreciative of it. So, but we will tell him for sure, because you can never hear that too much when you're in a position like he is. So, yeah, me, you're right. T1, you are a great guy. Don't let anybody tell you any different. And TJ says, I just realized I'm going to get confused between T1 and TJ. So if I do, I apologize. But TJ says, I found my doppelganger on YouTube, only like a 30-year younger version, freaking me out. Oh, no, I should probably clarify, and I'm going to let Kay explain it better, but Enter Your Scars says you can send stuff like that by mail. I'm going to let you explain that, Kay, if you don't mind.
So actually, it's called an access package. And prior to COVID, the inmates were allowed one access package per quarter. But through COVID, because canteen was cut back because of staffing issues, I think, I don't know
Probably
what the other
trucking, getting the
supply
stuff,
chain issues
supply
probably
chain.
too,
Yeah.
but definitely staffing issues because they were just constantly battling COVID at the prisons. They changed these access packages to once a month, and they've not changed that back yet. So, and, you know,
The
just,
separate company, Kay, that you order it through, or
yeah, I can't remember what the name of it was. And I probably wouldn't actually say it just in case it's not a nationwide thing.
but you can like choose the items that you put in this package.
Yeah, so we got him some flavored drinks and some sauces for his food. Something new on there was corn tortillas. So, you know, he's got some people in there that they compile their food and have these feasts. So they were happy to have that new item of the corn tortillas to make enchiladas. So I tried to choose things that he could repeat the enchilada dinner with. So anyway, it'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be fun when he gets it because he doesn't know what all's coming, and everybody loves a present.
Especially someone who can't go out and choose things for themselves. And so I don't know. It's, you know, it's so little, at least for the four of us right now. It was such a little contribution to know that it's going to bring so much happiness and joy to him, you know. So if we do find out that it's something that, you know, well, I do know this, because we all four wanted to say, well, Susan and Cherie and I, we all three wanted to send him one too. We were like, well, I want to send one. Well, I want, but he can only receive one of these packages a month. So I would imagine if more than one is ordered, that it's probably held for the next month, possibly. I have no idea how that works. I'm not even going to try to explain it.
They won't let you, when you log into the account and you put in his number, it will say how much
available.
So it's a $50 per month amount. So if someone ordered him $20, then there would still be $30 available that someone else could tag on. And I don't know what the cutoff is, but anyway, it can't be more than $50 a month, but it looks like it could come from multiple people up to $50 a month.
Up to $50. Okay, good to know.
But it's easy to spend $50 real fast on there.
Yeah.
At least in New York, if you don't, if you send something that they can't have, they'll throw it away, or the inmate would have to pay to ship it back to whoever sent it.
Good Lord.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one says remaining balance, so I'm assuming that's how.
That's good. That makes more sense.
But I could just be making shit up too. It's my
Well,
first
it's not
time.
likely, but yeah, we'll see. It's an experiment for all four of us, honestly. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But
Right.
you know, if that's something that can be done at some point, you know, we'll share that with you. If it's something that anybody can do, we'll let you know for sure. T1 wants to know, because T1 hasn't been here in a while, so I'm sure that there's probably some things that he's behind on. And he's asking, is there any potential actions coming from DH's defense team we should be aware of? Well, Kay can elaborate if she wants, but basically his attorney is working on his post-conviction relief right now.
The
So-
last thing that happened was his attorney petitioned for a page extension for the post-conviction application, and it was denied. So,
Which is
Now
not
it's-
normal, is it, Kay?
well, apparently it is. The judge cited some cases that were pretty involved, I guess. I don't think any cases are as involved as this one, but cited several cases to support her decision. And what we also found out through that motion for a page extension was who his new district court judge will be, since Henderson had to take his nasty ass out of the courthouse. And it is Judge Trong, who is the judge that signed the arrest warrant and set the $5 million cash bond. Of course, I was hoping for Judge Amy Palumbo, who, in some other news that happened yesterday in Oklahoma, Glenn Simmons, who has been incarcerated, wrongfully convicted for the past 48 years, was granted a new trial yesterday. He was convicted of a double murder back in 1975, but he wasn't even in the state of Oklahoma when the murder happened. He was in Louisiana. So through a Brady violation, the district attorney's office conceded, and thankfully we have Vicky Behenna in the district attorney's office now. We're seeing more and more things that are fair happening coming out of Oklahoma County. And, I believe a lot of these things are because of her. She's driving the bus. So Mr. Simmons is a free man for now. The comment was that Vicky Behenna didn't know if she would spend the taxpayers or the resources to retry him. But he does have a new trial date set for, I can't remember what it was that I read this morning. I don't think a new trial will ever happen. I think he is a free man. So the state of Oklahoma owes him a couple $1 million.
He's done 48 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we know that there's a cap on what Oklahoma will pay.
$75,000 per year, I think, and he's been
is
in
it
there
per
48
year?
years. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know it was per year. See, I learned
And
something new.
That may be because of me, because I used to think it was $75,000 period. But when I was sitting in his evidentiary hearing a few months ago, I looked that up and did the math. So
Okay, no, that's
Anyway.
that sounds much better then. That makes me
Yeah.
feel a lot, because $75,000 is just a laugh, a laugh in the face, in my opinion. So
yeah, so we've been sitting around trying to figure out what are the important things that you would present to DA Vicky Behenna about Daniel's case to make her realize that she needs to intervene, because he's obviously not going to get any relief. I mean, the Supreme Court declined to hear his writ of certiorari, where, you would think secret hearings being conducted that are a direct result of your direct appeal and you're excluded from those hearings, you would think that would be enough to get the Supreme Court's attention, but they declined to hear the petition. And of course, the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals, they rubber stamped the court's, they upheld the conviction. They're not going to give him any relief. You know, they made comments about, their comment about the secret hearings was, well, although he should have been able to attend, no harm was done to him not being there. There was nothing exculpatory for him, which we found out through Campbell Ruddock's deposition that wasn't really true. So, you know, they've claimed that those secret hearings were closed like that because it was a personnel issue, and personnel files of Elaine Taylor are, you know, private. But personnel matters are handled internally. They're not handled in a courtroom with district attorneys and assistant district attorneys and, well, basically everyone except the defendant present. So I ramble on.
Hey, I'm happy to let you explain things and, you know, share what the information that you have rather than me trying to do it. Cause I'm good at explaining things if you want every single solitary detail before, during, and after, which is very time consuming. So much better for Kay to explain it than me.
And
I did
what
want to
about,
show you something.
oh,
I'm sorry,
I'm
go
so
ahead.
sorry.
No, go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, what about the guy, that former disgraced Judge Henderson is the guy that's getting a new trial, right? Because
Oh,
of him.
Hashhagen.
Yeah,
Hashhagen. Yeah.
Robert Hashhagen. He was granted a new trial because Kelly Collins, who, you know, was one of the 5 women who claimed Henderson was inappropriate with them sexually. Kelly Collins was the ADA in that case, and we were following that because she prosecuted the Hashhagen case alongside Daniel's assistant ADA, Kelly McConnell. Anyway, so Hashhagen's getting a new trial. Yeah, we just wish it were happening for Daniel.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. We're not giving up on hope. We're not giving up hope that there's something that could possibly work out for him in that regard. We like I said before, we just haven't found anything yet. Doesn't mean there isn't something though, for sure. This is a picture I just wanted to share with you. This is a picture, so obviously a picture of Daniel on the left. These little thumbnail type size pictures are just pictures of his uniform and what he has on under that shirt and the pants. Really is kind of what we're trying to bring to it. The big thing here is these compression underwear. Let's see if I can use the cursor. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but the compression underwear here, they have no fly in the front. And we've discussed before, and Jack has explained to us how very nearly impossible, at the very least uncomfortable it would be to try to expose one's penis. What the only way it could have been done would have been over the top of these compression underwear. They would have to have been lowered to some degree, I would imagine, and then exposed from the top, over the top of the waistband of these compression underwear. And then not only that, but his uniform shirt here, that is held in place by shirt stays. And so they go under sole of his foot, and then they go up the side, and they have clips, one in the front and one in the back, to hold his shirt down in place so that it doesn't come untucked. And then, of course, you've got underneath the uniform shirt, you've got the bulletproof vest that he has to wear. And on all of that, you've got the big gun belt. So for these women to say that none of them said, except for Shardarian Hill, and there might have been one other accuser, Rosetta Great, possibly. Oh, I can't remember if she said it. But Shardarian Hill for sure said that he took his gun belt off in the hospital. But the rest of them just said his penis was just right there. Can you imagine him just not removing his gun belt, but just zipping down the fly of his uniform pants and his penis showing through that? That's just unimaginable. And I don't want to say impossible, but just doesn't make sense to me that would be possible to do without some effort, like some great effort. And according to these women, all of these acts occurred very quickly. So his, one minute his penis was there and then it wasn't, or it wasn't and then it was. And so
it was there. It was just there.
Just there, like just boing, right in their face, according to some of them. And then
Impossible.
It's impossible. And then when you think about the women who claimed they were actually vaginally raped, and that gun belt was not removed, and and he just pulled his penis out of the unzipped zipper of his pants. Come on. It's just not plausible. So I just kind of wanted to show you that to give you kind of an idea of what that looks like, what that uniform setup looks like for him. And so it's under your scars says it would squeeze your pee-pee. Ouch. Yeah. I mean, that's why we've asked Jack a couple of times about that. What would that entail? And he's like, it would entail pain. And we're thinking, yeah, so, but that was what they claimed happened to them. So whatever. Liam, hey Liam, welcome. It's great to see you. Glad you were able to make it. He says, I have a vest like that, and wearing it under the shirt incognito makes going to the toilet a bit of a chore. Add the compression pants and whipping it out ain't happening. Yeah, that's kind of what, without having any firsthand knowledge of our own, that's kind of what we've all thought. And then Jack has kind of confirmed that for us. And TJ says, mine actually hangs lower, but he's taller. I'm just going to leave that because I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
The best. The best.
Oh, the best.
The best.
Okay. Well, you know me. I take things pretty literally, so.
Yeah, man.
Oh, no.
There she goes.
Here I go. I'm going off the rails. Let's see here. And then TJ says the compression would make hard to get an erection. And I believe that to be true. I mean, I don't know, obviously, but that makes sense. I would be pretty damn uncomfortable, I would imagine. I don't know.
I'm just going to say I am familiar with the male anatomy.
Well,
and I can't see it happening.
I'm familiar with it. I'm just not familiar with the comfort or discomfort of two. I have an idea. I mean, I did raise 5 boys, and I was married to a man a couple of times. Anyway, whoa. Back down to the topic at hand. So T1 says, DH didn't whip it out any more than BD did in the man case. Complete BS, MIO.
Absolutely.
And our O's as well. So, okay. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that. I know we've talked about it a lot. We've, talked about what it was that he was wearing and, kind of like the wideness or narrowness of the streets here in Oklahoma, it's hard to envision it if you don't actually see it, you know, get an idea of a picture of it. So what I'm going to
And
do,
you know, the thing about those streets too, they're narrow and all the houses, and this area comes alive at night. You know,
Yes.
there's people walking around everywhere, from what I understand at that time, especially when Daniel was on the street. So there's just no way. I just can't see any of these things happening.
yeah, it.
And
And here's the
calling
thing,
plus calling them in before you rape them.
right?
Placing
Yes.
yourself at this location with this person that you're getting ready to rape. I mean,
Yeah.
just pile everything on top of how hard it would be to just whip his penis out of that uniform with all that gear. It just continues to be ridiculous and more ridiculous.
It's like calling in a bomb threat and telling them you're on your way and
Yeah,
you're in a
In
black,
a black
Jeep,
Jeep,
exactly.
and actually show up in a black
Yeah.
and they
Jeep
show up.
And get
No-
arrested with no weapons or no
with
bomb.
no bomb.
Yeah. And just call that a good day. For sure.
Can't
Oh,
wait to hear
people
how
just-
they end that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hopefully there's going to be a follow up to it because it's sounds like it should be interesting. We'll see. So we want to. Gosh, it's just really so much fun. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So imagine it's like so trying to imagine what he wears as part of his uniform. And my mind is it's like not what my mind's eye could see, just like my mind's eye couldn't see the locations and what they really look like until we saw these locations and what they really look like. It's nothing like what some of us have imagined. So I kind of had the same idea about his uniform, you know, not just hearing the words of what he's wearing or what's involved, but not actually seeing what those things look like. That that picture kind of brings a new light to that, a new
And I'll
imagination.
just say, you know, the next day after Janie Liggins made her allegations, Daniel showed up to work as normal at 4 p.m, right? And they took him in for the interrogation, and he did, in fact, have that full get up on. He had the compression shorts, he had everything. It's not like, you know, well, maybe he doesn't wear the compression shorts or something like that. He had no idea he was going to be interviewed that day. And, you know, he had the full get up on. So,
Yeah, you can watch him undress in his interview on
yep.
YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep, at the end, for sure. Yeah. Very true. Okay, so what we want to try to share with you tonight is this arrest warrant. And it seems like it should be something pretty straightforward. You know, we've watched other cases where we've seen all sorts of, you know, probable cause affidavits for arrest warrants and you know, those things. And they're all different. I mean, I'm going to be honest, they're all written differently. Different departments write theirs differently. And so, you know, that that doesn't surprise me that it's not like others that I've seen, but it does surprise me that, and I'm just going to, it does surprise me that in the District Court of Oklahoma County, State of Oklahoma, affidavit of and application for arrest warrant and the arrest warrant for the person of Daniel Holtzclaw, white male, DOB, 12/10/1986, black hair, brown eyes, 6'2", 260 pounds. Daniel's a large presence for sure. And then it says for the different charges, rape one, then it gives the statutes. rape by instrumentation, forcible oral sodomy, 3 counts, sexual battery, 2 counts, indecent exposure, 2 counts. I, Detective K. Davis, the affiant, being first duly sworn upon oath, depose and say that the facts known to the affiant, which established probable cause to believe that a criminal offense was committed and that the offense was committed by the above named person, are the following. Your affiant, Detective Kim Davis, being first duly sworn upon oath, depose and state as follows. So, I mean, I know I don't need to explain this to you because you guys all know this, but she swore an oath. Kim Davis swore an oath that everything that she's putting in this affidavit for arrest warrant is the truth, the absolute truth. And
these are the things that cause probable cause, establish probable cause. These true things she's about to write.
yes, yes. You boys in the chat are being naughty. I'm not saying stop, do your thing, have your fun, it's all good, I'm fine. I'm just letting you know, I know you're being naughty. Anyway, so she says, I am a police officer for the city of Oklahoma City. I have been a police officer for Oklahoma City for the past 27 years. I am currently assigned to the Investigation Bureau in the Sex Crimes Unit. I have been assigned to the Sex Crimes Unit for the past 13 and a half years. And then she goes on to start her probable cause statement. On May 8, 2014, an investigation began in the Sex Crimes Unit in reference to the above-named defendant, an Oklahoma City police officer, sexually assaulting different women.
False.
I'm going to pause right there. In my little note here, it says the investigation did not begin on this date. Okay, take it away.
Okay, so Rhonda played at the beginning Bates' summary of the sequence of things that happened with Janie Liggins and brought you to the point where they were basically, through their investigation, Daniel was exonerated of Janie Liggins. Nothing that she said. It's actually the very opposite of what Kim Davis said. She says nothing that he said, whatever the quote is, you guys heard it. Basically, everything that they did backed up what Daniel was saying. And so what was going to happen? They had Janie Liggins. She had already gone to the media. The community was on high alert. We don't know. I'm not sure if it had gone outside of Oklahoma already or not, but this community was aware that an Oklahoma City police officer had been accused of sexually assaulting a Black woman. But they didn't have any way to charge Daniel based on that. So what they did was they had to bring Terry Morris back into the fold, who they had already investigated. She reported there was a 911 call on May 24th, not May 8th. May 24th is when Terry Morris reported via an excited utterance or to get out of trouble, or she truly was raped where she said she was raped. One of those things. But she was about to go to jail because she was tearing up her ex-boyfriend's car, and he called 911. They were coming, and she says, "You called the police?" "Yeah, Terry Lynn, I told you I was going to call the police." "You call the same MFers that raped me?" Okay, so we know that the officers were alerted of that comment. They come to the scene. We've seen all the police reports. There were 3 officers that interviewed her. She told the same story to all 3 officers. This is May 24th. She told them she was assaulted a few days before. So she said it on the 20th or 21st. Near the city rescue mission downtown. And she tells this whole story about this, and she repeats it to all 3 officers. They all 3 put it in their report. And then she walks away. They have another altercation with her later that evening, but she's walks away. This is a holiday weekend, May 24th. Sex crimes detectives are off, Rocky's off. They don't send a supervisor out to the scene, which is against policy. Terry walks away. They assign her case to Rocky Gregory, who it's a holiday weekend. So he's not, I think this is a Saturday that this happened. So he's off Saturday, Sunday, Monday. He comes in Tuesday morning. It's on his desk. And whatever he does with it at that point, I personally believe that his police report regarding his attempts to locate her is a fabricated report. I can't prove that. It just doesn't match any of his other reports. It doesn't make sense. I feel like it was something that was done retroactively to prop up this Daniel Holtzclaw case. So Rocky, according to Rocky, through a confidential informant, he finds Terry. He has Cal, this CI, track down Terry, drags her into headquarters to interview her. You guys that have watched Rhonda's podcast, you've seen her sitting in that chair in the corner. Whether we've heard different things, whether she had bed bugs and her skin was crawling, she was itching from that. It really looked like she was in withdrawal to me. Like she needed a fix. She did state to him she needed her medicine. She told him she was mentally ill. So this is June 3rd that he interviews her. So when does the investigation start? Kim stated in this sworn affidavit that the investigation began on May 8th. The investigation began on May 24th in the form of the 3 officers interviewing her and writing the reports. And then 6/3 is the first time that Rocky interviews her. So that's total bullshit. But why do you think they use the May 8th date in that arrest warrant? Why would they do that?
Well, I don't know if that was a rhetorical question or
No, I mean,
an actual question.
tell the people why.
Well, as Kay has always very precisely and eloquently explained several times, if they didn't have Terry Morris as a victim, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. There would be no case against Daniel without Terry Morris, because
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was going to just say, I was just going to have you track to the part that we know that one of the things that they did to investigate that was they looked back at who the last officers were that had contact with Terry Morris to try to figure out who it was. I'm
And
sorry.
Daniel had stopped her on May 8th.
That's
Had
right.
interacted with her.
And that's
on
why
May 8th.
May 8th is on that arrest warrant.
But at the time, they cleared him, correct?
That's right. But now they need her to be a part of this case. So now they're acting like none of that happened. But we know through looking at emails, and you guys have seen some of those too already, that they were looking at him and then they weren't. He wasn't anywhere around. They looked at his AVL to see where was he. Where was he on May 20th or May 21st when she said the assault happened? It couldn't have been him. They cleared him. But now they needed him again. So now it's May 8th. And they try to get Terry Morris to cooperate. And they try really hard, Rhonda, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Very hard. Rocky Gregory, to the point of abuse and badgering and cruelty, does everything he can short of arrest her or have her arrested. Oh, wait, he did do that. Never mind. I don't have proof of that, but.
Well, I mean, it's ridiculous that she got arrested and there's no documentation. So he interviews her on June 3rd and she doesn't want to, she signs a decline to prosecute form. She doesn't want to do anything with it. And when I listened to that interview, I thought, well, okay, she either doesn't want to get tangled up with having to deal with the police all the time, or she just said it to get out of trouble and she's out of trouble. So she doesn't want to go be tied to some false story that she's going to have to play out. Or she just wants to be left alone, which is what she repeatedly told them. And so she signs the decline to prosecute on June 3rd, and they take her back to wherever they picked her up from. And then Daniel does so that's June 3rd. Then June 16th is the after hours traffic stop with Janie Liggins. Daniel turned his computer off, which, people who are new to the case, you will have heard that he was turning his computer off when he was raping all these women. This is the only...
Not true.
This is the only after hours traffic stop that was involved. His computer was turned off because he was in the habit of turning his computer off on his way home. He wasn't in the habit of stopping women after his shift was over, but he did stop Liggins that night. He didn't turn his computer back on. And what happened. The allegations came. They did their investigation. Janie Liggins' SANE kit came back negative for any of Daniel's DNA. Only her own DNA was in her mouth and around her mouth. No prints on the car, just a solid film of dust. Had someone laid their hands in that dust, as Rhonda pointed out, there would have been clear handprints on the car.
But Kim Davis believed her. She believed her in her gut. She just knew.
I believed her.
I believed her. Yeah.
Wow.
I've been a police officer for 27 years. I can tell.
I had a gut feeling.
Yeah. Guys are funny.
And who comes to mind? A police officer assaulting women. Who comes to mind to them? Oh, Terry Morris said the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard a couple different stories about, what connected Terry Morris to this. How did you turn him into a serial rapist while he was sleeping from
Yeah.
one shift to the next? Rob High suggested it to Rocky Gregory. That's one story. Another one wasn't it that Kim and Rocky just got to talking and thinking, you had that? And I just told Rocky, you had that one girl, didn't you, a couple weeks ago?
Yep.
Yeah. Very convenient.
Very convenient. So she
And-
walks. She goes, oh, go ahead.
And right at that moment, he should have said, yeah, I checked out Holtzclaw in that case. He couldn't have possibly done it.
Yeah, but Kim was already told, and he was in the same meeting with her. The eyes of the department are upon you. What does that mean? What do you think that meant to them?
Gotta get him.
We see what their actions were, so we can only assume what it meant.
Right.
So that's the first interview. She signed the decline to prosecute. It should have been done.
It kind of reminds me of, or it does remind me of Tom Kasurek telling Vogel in the 1985 case, "Don't screw this up," or something like that.
Exactly.
That's right,
No,
Cherie.
completely legit.
Yeah. So then the second interview, because, now they're just, it's out in the media. What are they going to do now? They're going to have to make an announcement that Janie Liggins' sane kit came back and it exonerated Daniel, so there'll be no charges. What would have happened? What would have happened if they had to do that?
Oh, man.
Which would have been the right thing to do, but what would have happened?
The Black community would have had a fit.
The same thing that was happening all over the United
All over the
States
country,
when crimes
Exactly.
against Black citizens were being perpetrated by white officers or officers, not necessarily just white officers, but and I know the city was afraid of what would happen to all the money they had poured into their city through all these decades of maps projects, all of that money, and they weren't going to have it. So they had to think fast. So they were going to bring Terry back into it. They couldn't. So they track her down a second time on, was it June 24th?
June 23rd or 24th, I think.
So they track her back down. They use Cal again to locate her. They hold her in the back of a police car until Rocky and another officer, Higginbottom, get there with a photo lineup. They want her to pick Daniel out of this photo lineup so they can proceed. So she looks at the photo lineup. She picks two people. And you've probably heard that. You've probably heard that interview, an audio interview. We've played it several times. And she's so distraught, so confused. And she says, I don't know. She said, I can't be sure. They all look alike. I'm not sure. It could be him. No. Oh, it's him. She starts out, it's him. No, wait. Because I guess Daniel wasn't the first photo she saw. So they didn't want her to choose that fast. So she goes through them all and she's so confused and she's so upset. And she says, it could be one of the two, but I can't be sure. I don't know. They look alike.
And Daniel had stopped her before.
On May 8th, yeah. And he had arrested her, I think, previously. He had more than one interaction with her. May 8th and then prior to May 8th.
So he looked kind of familiar.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with, some of the some supporters are pissed because they didn't use photo lineups, but I don't think the photo lineups would really even be anything except damaging to Daniel, because they were only cultivating victims that Daniel had actually called in, placed himself out with, and that they had AVL that they could use against him.
Right.
AVL, for new people who don't know, is the GPS tracking system on police officers' cars. So she walks away and she's pissed on the June 23rd or 24th, whichever it is. And she doesn't want to be a part of the case. She wants to be left alone. And the brass is telling them, find more victims, find more victims. But they can't really do anything until, they've already decided that she's going to be the first victim. They need to make her the first victim. And then they can add Liggins in, even though everything exonerated Daniel, he still ended up convicted on all charges against Liggins. And so what happens? She wouldn't cooperate. So where do you think she finds herself within a week? In the Oklahoma County Jail. And she's arrested on trespassing charges. She, in the July 10th interview in the jailhouse, Cherie? I think they interviewed her on.
Yes, it was the 10th.
July 10th. So Rocky Gregory and Lieutenant Timothy Musney go to the county jail. They don't immediately turn on their recorder. They have a recorder because they recorded the second half of the interview, but they don't immediately turn it on upon getting there. They try to get her to become a part of the case yet again. And this time, because she's been sitting in the county jail for a week or 10 days, she changes her story to, consequently, she changes it to exactly what they needed her to say. And the recording that they use, you can go to Brian Bates' podcast, Bates Investigates, and listen to the Terry Morris episodes, and you will hear a very suspect recording of her turning on her I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Are you building a house, Rhonda? Who was that?
Not me.
I don't think Rhonda's mic's muted. We just hear, oh my God, I just got so distracted by that.
Half the interview in the jail.
No, thank you. We hear half the interview. And we hear Rocky across the room setting the interview up. I'm here at the Oklahoma County Jail with Terry Morris. She advised she wanted to talk to us again. And so we're here. Terry, that's it. That's all. No, could you just go through it one more time with me? No, that's all. That's it. No, I'm trying to get it here. Can you just tell me one more time? Which obviously lets everyone know they've already run through the story with her before they turn on the recording. So all of that to say that this first line in the affidavit for arrest that Rhonda's going to put back on the screen is complete bullshit. The investigation into Terry Morris did not start on May 8th. This is a false statement in a sworn affidavit.
Exactly.
So, are you back, Rhonda? No. Okay.
No.
I'm
I
here. I
see-
was muted.
okay.
I was muted. Sorry.
I see Jack joined us.
Hey,
Yes,
Jack.
Jack has joined us. Hey, Jack. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, what's up? How are you all doing? I'm late.
Oh,
Don't,
God.
shut, don't,
For a
don't
very
shut
important date.
don't shut the gate. I'm late.
Oh, you're all rhymey.
It actually just came to me. I wasn't gonna do anything like that, but hey, everybody. I hope everybody's doing okay.
You should write poems.
Mm,
You should
yeah,
write some
okay.
poetry.
I'll get right on that.
Okay.
Rose.
It's just
Okay.
just time
Rose-
for a rhyme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roses are red. Roses are red. Cola's black. Do me a favor and sit on a tack.
Oh, ouch.
Dang, you're
That
brutal.
wasn't very nice.
You said she liked poetry, so
All right, so we're dissecting the affidavit for arrest warrant, Jack, and we got through the first line, and I told a 45-minute story probably.
But it's essential to understand this part, how without Terry Morris, they had Janie Ligon's story did not check out, but they added to it with a bullshit story about Terry Morris. So now they have two. Right?
Yeah.
right.
Now they have a case. Now their city won't burn.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
They go after somebody and lay the blame on this officer. See what we did. We're on your side. We're not on their side. We're on your side.
Yeah. Thank you for being patient with us while we, and trusting us to do the right thing. That sort of thing. Those are the kind of things they were saying to the public.
Sure.
Yeah. I want to kind of thank you, Kay, for breaking that down. I think it's important for people to try to put that all in order of how it actually occurred, because it's important. It's incredibly important. I want to let Liam asked a minute ago, was Daniel prosecuted for her accusations? Well, yeah, and then I think he said found guilty. He was found not guilty of Terry Morris's accusations.
But that's not the point.
But yeah, exactly. T1 says, and I think your question might have been answered actually in a couple different ways, but why did they need Daniel versus someone else? It's not so much that they went and sought Daniel out. It's just that he happened to be, well,
he's the one who did the stop. Yeah.
He was the one who made the stop. And if it hadn't been Daniel, if it had been somebody else that had stopped, another white cop who had stopped Janie, that white cop may have been the one who
with their computer turned off. Yeah. He had turned off his computer. It didn't look good.
Yeah.
Right. The public perception wasn't going to be, and it wasn't. Look at all of he turned his computer off on purpose.
And Janie went to the news 4 days later. I mean, it was in the news.
I got to tell you, as somebody that works, until I couldn't all my life with different whatever, I can just tell you, I could see myself doing exactly the same thing as Daniel. I'm done for the night. Turn this sumbitch off. I'm out. I could. I'm telling you. Day in, day out, 12, 14-hour shift, I'm done.
It's a habit, and
sure.
He seemed to, at trial, they looked at, where he was on the AVL when he would shut his computer off. And he was in the habit of, within about quarter mile, half a mile area. He was just kind of in the habit of shutting it off at a certain part of the route for the most part, although that wasn't 100% of the time.
Right.
But, you know, we don't know if he was on a phone call, or, of course, I don't think he'd be on a phone call at 2 a.m. going home, but
probably not.
Looking at his text messages or anything that you might be doing to be distracted from your normal routine. You know, I have a weird routine that I do. I don't put my seatbelt on before I put my car in drive. I hardly ever do. I roll out of the driveway and I put my seatbelt on in that first block that I travel.
That's weird. Well, I mean, it's not real weird, but it's kind of weird.
It's weird.
It's something I do. I mean, it drives my husband crazy. It's my habit. It's a weird habit that I have, and and
I get it.
Yeah.
It's
well, we all have little idiosyncrasies, you know, that we do.
We do mannerisms.
Things like that. Yeah, mannerisms, things like that. So
well, let's proceed, because at this rate, I'll try to not be like that anymore. At this rate, we're never going to have dinner tonight.
Yeah, okay, so real quick, I'm going to try to answer some of these questions that don't require like much of an explanation. No, it wasn't actually believed that there was an active law enforcement sexual predator at that time. That was not believed.
I don't know. I tend to believe Terry Morris. That was a couple days earlier. It's very possible.
I absolutely do. Yeah, well, yeah, but there wasn't one that they were seeking out, that they were being
no, but there were accusations. The short black guy,
yeah. So yes, absolutely, T1.
And Sherry Ellis too. I mean, I always, like Kim Davis, I always had a gut feeling that maybe Sherry Ellis's accusations were true, not where she said it happened. I think they convinced her to I think they convinced her to use that traffic stop that she knew about. And I don't know, it just kind of baffles me that I try to think what it would feel like if you were raped, and if now you're being told that there's a serial rapist, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, did the person who raped me over here at this XYZ other place, is he the one that's raping all these other people? And now the police are saying, you know, we see that you had a traffic stop here with this officer at 16. Would you use a traffic stop that you were familiar with if it was suggested to you, just to make sure that that person got convicted? You know, we've heard women come forward in this case and lie about what happened to them, and then when they get busted, they say that they just wanted to make sure that he got convicted. Yeah. Would you do that? You know, and I've always just had this feeling about Sherry Ellis. And then in her deposition, when she said, you know, the first time I saw who they accused of raping me was at trial.
Yeah.
And watching how tearful she was in her deposition, she was upset in her deposition. You don't see a lot of the other accusers being upset. Some of them tried to fake upset. Like, who was it that was sexually assaulted as a child? And when she talked about that, she was upset as you would expect her to be, but when she talked about the rape, she wasn't upset at all.
That would have been, I can't remember, but
I can't either.
I don't remember which one it was. We've seen a lot, so it's
I
kind of
think
hard
it
to
was
remember.
Tabitha, but I couldn't swear to it.
That
Well,
was what,
Tabitha said she was sexually assaulted as a child, and she had no emotion over that, but she let that go. That was in her past, and she'd let that go. So she didn't.
Okay.
But this thing with Daniel was going to live with her forever.
okay. I'm going to figure this out and bring it back to you in the comments, maybe.
Yeah, there was somebody though that was emotional as a child, assault as the child, and then showed no emotion about Daniel allegedly assaulting her. So, yeah, and I agree, Liam. There was so much leading witnesses and techniques which are known to create false memories in the investigation. Yeah, I agree. And TJ says that just Rhonda, if close to downtown, try Cattleman Steakhouse. Will do, TJ. Thank you for the recommendation. Okay, yeah, like Kay says, we want to try to get through this, but we are only on the first paragraph, and there's 3-4 pages. So we'll try to, and a lot of these things we don't need to actually say much more about because we've already pretty much covered Terry Morris. So. But during the investigation, Detective Rocky Gregory spoke with victim TM, Terry Morris, who advised she was sexually assaulted by the above named defendant. She never once named Daniel Holtzclaw. So that's some BS. TM advised she was stopped by this Oklahoma City police officer while she was walking at the address. The defendant placed her in his car and took her to the 700 block of Northeast 24th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, where he made made TM put his penis inside her mouth. So we know we traveled this route yesterday at 27th and Lindsay. I think it's supposed to be 26th and Lindsay, but whatever. But the point is that the way it's written here, they make it sound like she knew it was Daniel Holtzclaw and accused Daniel Holtzclaw by name, and it just didn't happen ever. It was really frustrating that Kim wrote this like Terry Morris actually knew what she was, what officer had done it, and she didn't. Because I believe Terry Morris was sexually assaulted by a cop.
And you just heard me talk about the 3 times they interviewed her. The way he wrote that, not listing any dates of when the interviews, he left out the fact that she had signed a decline to prosecute form. Mm-hmm. He leaves out the fact that when she does change her story to a different location, she doesn't name Daniel, but I guess he just assumed she names Daniel because they got her to choose the date that he stopped her at Liberty Station Apartments. So once again, using the AVL to reverse engineer a case against him and just cultivating these victims.
Okay, now I came back up to this first page where it says on 5/8/14, an investigation began. On May 8th, 2014, an investigation began. And I wanted to emphasize that because down here, she says, he then drove her around. This isn't the part that I wanted to point out, but he then drove her around the area and let her go. The investigation revealed the incident occurred on 5/8/14 8, 2014. The investigation revealed the incident occurred on May 8, 2014. But wait,
The
a second.
investigation began on 5/8/14. So I guess the investigation only lasted the span of that day.
The day. On the day that she was allegedly sexually assaulted by Daniel Holtzclaw, the investigation began. And during that 1 day long, hours long investigation, it was revealed that the incident happened on that same day. Is
But
anybody else like?
Yeah, but they didn't even. Yeah, but they didn't even get her to change her story until July 10th. So he's leaving out all 3 interviews, the details of the photo lineup that she doesn't pick him out of. I'm saying Kim. I think Kim and Rocky worked on this together. Obviously, I can see him sitting there.
Rocky and Winkle.
Exactly. Susan, do you mind start reading from on 6/18/14?
On 6/18/14, Detective Davis received a call out involving a victim making the allegation of being sexually assaulted by an Oklahoma City police officer. Detective Davis responded to the hospital and interviewed victim JL, Jenny Liggins. She disclosed she was stopped on traffic at Northwest 50th and Lincoln in Oklahoma City. Sorry. That's how silly it was. She said the officer made her sit in the back seat of his patrol car. She stated during her contact with the officer, excuse me, he made her lift up her shirt and expose her breasts. He made her pull down her pants. She said the officer took his penis out of his pants and made her put it in her mouth. The victim submitted to a SANE exam. During the investigation, Detective Gregory came into contact with victim Tabitha Barnes, who advised she was sexually assaulted by the above listed defendant. Tabitha Barnes advised the defendant harassed her on various occasions. The investigation revealed on 2/27/14, the defendant conducted a traffic stop on Tabitha Barnes at 1530 Northeast 15th in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County. He placed Tabitha in the back seat of his patrol car. The defendant made the victim expose her breasts. The defendant touched both bare breasts with his hand. He didn't touch me. He never touched me. He didn't touch me. Tabitha Barnes had city warrants, and he advised her to play by his rules, and he would help her. Tabitha Barnes was released that day. You want me to keep going?
If you don't mind.
On March 25th, 2014, the defendant returned to 1530 Northeast 15th. Victim Tabitha, let's see. Victim Tabitha Barnes arrived and he made her get in his patrol car. The defendant made Tabitha expose her breasts to him again. He also had her show him her vagina as well. Let me see your vajayjay, honey.
Oh my God.
The defendant did not touch her on this occasion. He just looked. The defendant let her go. During the investigation, Detective Gregory spoke with victim Carla Raines. The victim disclosed the above-listed defendant stopped her near 16th Street and Funchal Avenue in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County. The defendant had Carla Raines expose her breasts to him. The defendant let her go. The investigation revealed this incident occurred on March 14 of 14. During the investigation, Detective Davis located victim Sherry Ellis. She disclosed she was walking in the area of Northeast. Oh, hang on just a minute. 18th and Highland Drive in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County, when the above-named defendant stopped her. She stated the officer made her get in the back of his patrol car. He made her put his penis in her mouth. He drove her to a school located at Northeast 18 and Miramar Boulevard in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County. She stated the defendant made her get out of the car, bend over, and he forced his penis into her vajayjay. The defendant let her go.
The JJ.
The investigation revealed this incident was total bullshit. No, occurred on 5/7/14.
Okay, let's just really quickly now, Susan. Now that we drove by this particular, place.
Yeah, I feel like I'm there right now.
Yeah, and it's so you look at the literal location of where this was alleged to have happened, and you're thinking, there's no way that
It
this
didn't happen.
happened.
Well,
plus his,
isn't this the one where his AVL shows that it couldn't have happened?
No, that was Captain Barnes on the 26th of March.
Okay.
This one is Sherry Ellis, where he drives around the block to the radio yard.
Yeah, and we decided that, I mean, she could easily see him jump the curb, right?
Well, he didn't stop where she says he stopped to rape her. He stopped right at the curb, right out in the open. Bates did the math on that with the AVL.
Right by the kids' play toys.
Bates knows how to do math. Kim doesn't.
You know, I just got to say this, and this just came to me. I can totally see Kim Davis saying the JJ.
Yeah.
The JJ.
I can see her doing it.
Oh yeah, twirl your penis around the JJ, honey.
Yeah, she'd be. God.
Or hoo-ha, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, she's a trip.
Yeah. TJ wants to know if there's a circus in town. Nope, just in our house.
Just in this case. Yeah.
Just in this case, for real. Yeah. So, Kay, do you want to read some? Or Susan, if you'd like to keep going, you sure can.
I don't.
Whatever. Either way.
Oh, Kay.
Okay.
Kay doesn't want to read.
Okay.
Thanks, JD, for that notification there. See, even JD knows. Sorry, go ahead.
Boobies.
Williams. Boobies.
Oh my God.
It slipped an I in there on us, JD.
Yeah, we know he meant
like that.
boobies.
Oh God. Yeah, that's like I said, there's only a circus in our house, not in town. Okay. All right. Carry on, Susan.
During the investigation, Detective Davis located victim Florine Mathis. She disclosed she was walking in the area of Northeast 18th and Kate Avenue in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County, when she was stopped by the above-named defendant. She stated the officer fondled her breasts on the outside of her clothing during this contact and then let her go. The investigation revealed this incident occurred on 4/14/14. During the investigation, Blinkwiggle located victim Carla Johnson. She disclosed she was walking in the area of Northeast 16th and Jordan Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County, when she was stopped by the above-named defendant. She stated when the officer searched her, he was standing behind her. He fondled her breasts on the outside of her clothing, and he put his hand down the front of her pants and panties and put his fingers on her vajayjay and touched her clitoris. The investigation revealed this incident occurred on 5/26/14. This case was staffed with Oklahoma County DA David Prater and Oklahoma County ADA Galen Giger, the Dream Team. Upon review, they authorized filing a 1 count of rape 1 count of rape by instrumentation, 3 counts of forcible oral sodomy, 2 counts of sexual battery, and 2 counts of indecent exposure on Daniel Holtzclaw. Upon completion of this investigation, your affiant believes the above-named defendant, Daniel Holtzclaw, is in violation of Oklahoma statute Title 21, Section 1115, Rape 1, blah, 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 blah. Your affiant respectfully requests an arrest warrant be issued in defendant's name for the above listed charges. Affiant Kim Davis.
Bullshit. So there you go. That was the arrest warrant.
And this is at this time they had, what was it, 8 women?
I think it was
Did we
8.
say?
Yes. Yeah, I think it was 8. Yep. So is Kay sleeping? We won't know because she's muted.
TJ says, I wanted to name my dog for JJ, but I was afraid it would run away and I would have to call its name looking for it.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. Oh God.
Here for JJ. Here for JJ.
For JJ.
Come for JJ.
Oh my God. Are TJ and T1?
Wow.
Oh shit, sorry. Did I say that?
Out loud. In
They
public
are-
even.
They
Okay, I'll
off the
mute.
rails, folks.
Too late.
Are T1 and TJ related?
No, that's what I'm saying.
They're like
I don't
brothers.
know if TJ left or not, or if he's just being quiet, but I find he must have
T1?
left because, yeah, or T1, sorry. There's no way TJ is saying the things he's saying and T1 is not snapping back with something. So I'm guessing that T1 must have left, which is fine. I appreciate that he left. You said the guys were acting back. Well, yeah, okay. Point taken. Point taken, TJ. You're right.
I couldn't help myself, sorry.
There sometimes you gotta just say some stuff, you know. It's just how we get through this ugliness.
It is ugly. It is so fucking ugly. Disgusting, frustrating. It makes you angry and just helpless.
Oh,
Helpless.
God. Sorry. Okay,
What I meant.
T1's
Oh,
still
T1's
here. I stand corrected. TJ has a racehorse name in my face. You should hear the gamblers yelling. Okay, I'm not saying that. You guys can all read it. TJ, or T1, I'm really surprised. I mean, it's fine. I'm not like mad or.
It took him a few
offended or
minutes to
anything.
come up with that one. That's why we had him.
He's probably been sitting there thinking. Okay.
Y'all on a roll tonight. That's all I got to say. I'm staying I'm just staying the hell away from naming my dog but JJ.
I'll see my way out now.
Dog
That's
gets
right,
lost
under your
and
stars.
dog
Rules
gets
is
lost
not
and
enough fun.
you know search party gets fined, gets formalized. What's your dog's name? But JJ.
JJ.
Oh boy, staying away from it. I'm gonna mute.
You couldn't.
Why?
You couldn't not say that word, Jack. I can tell.
He had to say it one time. He
He
had
did.
to. He had to. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me just kind of wrap that up a little bit. Really, it's the very beginning of this affidavit or this arrest warrant that is so egregiously. It's just a blatant lie. The whole first part of it's just a blatant lie.
Well, all of it is, Rhonda.
Well, yes, I understand that, but when you sworn an oath to tell the truth in an affidavit, and the first two paragraphs are lies, like blatant lies, I don't know. You're right. You can't even make an excuse for just the first two paragraphs when the whole damn paragraphs are all lies. So you can't do it.
They need a code, to break down. So like when they say the investigation revealed, that means we looked at AVL and this is what we need to jam in here.
Yeah. That sounds really legit, actually.
The investigation revealed, really?
Yeah. The investigation revealed that you reverse engineered the entire case. That's what the investigation revealed. So we just wanted to share that with you. That's something I don't think I've ever talked about on my show before. Or the show, our show. And it's really important to see that, the lies and misinformation and twistiness is it's not limited to specific parts. It affects all the parts. So, and if there's not I guarantee you I have no idea what's going to be on next Thursday, because I will have only been home for a day. Well, yeah, I don't get home until Tuesday night, I think. Is that when I get home, Cherie?
That's
Cherie,
right.
It is Tuesday night. So it's safe to say there might not be a show Tuesday night or Thursday night next week, just because I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I'm probably going to need to recover. So unless something happens that we want to cover or whatever, but I wouldn't count on anything. So in the meantime, we I don't know if Kay or Susan or Jack or Cherie want to talk about anything else about the case, but I was just going to kind of open it up and we've shared a little bit about our journey so far, and so if there's anything else you want to talk about that we're doing, or
there was another thing that really, really surprised me on our tour. And I mean, this neighborhood is right in front of the Capitol building. I mean, it's just right there, big old Capitol building. I don't know why that makes a difference, but I don't know. That just was really surprising to me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's like in the shadow of it, practically.
Yeah. And we hear that. I think I hear that about a lot of crimes in a lot of different states, that there are a lot of crimes committed. There's high crime areas around a lot of state capitals. At least that's what it seems like to me. I could be wrong or imagining it, but.
And we were driving around there midday yesterday, was it? Or was it morning?
It was midday.
It was hotter than fuck. It was like 104.
We were driving around when it was hotter than fuck. That's what it was.
But we barely saw anybody out on the street. I mean, it was just, I think we saw 2 people walking around. That was it.
It's their nighttime. Our
exactly.
Daytime. I mean,
exactly.
According to all the activity that happens in that neighborhood, it all happens. Well,
and we have talked about going back out at night, which is a bit intimidating to me. But
yeah. Well, But we've also decided that we have to, it sounds like somebody's popping a bottle of champagne.
Oh, somebody.
I think I've already said this at the very beginning, but we're all in the same house and we're all just in a different room. And I got warm in my room, so I had to open the door so the air could flow through. And so there might be some echoing. And if there is, I'm really sorry. If it's annoying, let me know and I'll close it. But I can hear more.
Well, I don't know if we said that we're all in the same house together, and so I had to open this bottle of wine, and so it's a real echoey in here. So if you heard that, it was me.
You did open a bottle of wine. Oh shit, it is on tonight. We are gonna party now.
Gotta make the green peppercorn sauce.
Oh, it's for green peppercorn sauce?
Well, just like 2 tablespoons, and then
okay.
it will have to be consumed.
Kay has been our private chef, and she's freaking amazing. She made fresh scones for breakfast this morning. She made us breakfast the first morning. She made a delicious pesto pasta for lunch with chicken. Oh my God. I mean, it's amazing. We're very lucky.
Are you saying you're moving in? You're gonna have Kay adopt you for a bit?
I'm going home with Kay. Yes.
See, I do this so in case I ever want to visit anyone and stay at their house, they'll say, "Oh yeah, come on."
They owe her.
Absolutely, any day.
Yeah.
You don't owe
coming
me.
to cook.
You don't owe me. You just want me.
No, we want you to come and cook for us.
Right.
So TJ said, I lost 6 pounds yesterday. I just walked outside and sweat. Well,
yeah, we did too.
But then we came home and gained it back because Kay's cooking was so fabulous. No, not breakfast in bed.
No, you have to get out of bed.
Yeah, that's a requirement. Get out of bed.
I mean, we don't need to get out of bed. If you want to sleep all morning, that's just fine. But
Liam says, "Did you hear that? The sound of a cork being removed and a door being locked." Oh my gosh! Why would you get in your car then? That's horrible.
Oh my God!
Jesus.
Under your scars.
Oh,
what happened?
Under your scars, 127 in my car and no AC. So why would you get in your car then?
That's dangerous.
That is deadly.
Put a frozen water bottle in the freezer and take it with you.
And a bag of ice on your head.
Turn on the AC. Start it and turn on the AC and let it run for a few minutes.
She doesn't have no
AC. No AC.
She doesn't have AC in her car.
Okay, well, I'm rolling some windows down before I do anything. I'm not getting in it.
Seriously, pre-hydrate and hydrate.
Then why would you get in your car? No choice but Breeze once going. Mom stuff. Oh, I know, but Jesus. Now I'm going to be worried about you. Ugh, that's so scary. Well, hopefully because of that, there's not a bunch of other people out on the road as well. Jeez.
Get a nice cold rag around your neck.
Yes. I used to take washcloths and get them wet and put them in Ziploc baggies and then put the baggie in the freezer.
There you go.
And kind of have an ice pack for a little bit because it, on those super hot days when it's 110 degrees outside that we do get through the summer occasion, not for weeks at a time, but for a couple of weeks or so, we can get up pretty high. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about Oklahoma. So, so our plan is, our plan is to go, well, so the reason that we want to go out at night, especially down where the traffic stop was, we probably won't, but we want to see if it's true, if the overhead lights from the street light washes out somebody's hair color to make it look blonde if it's dark.
Can't watch
But we
it.
haven't found a volunteer cop to do that for us, so probably not.
We'll just stop anyway.
Just stop any old cop.
We
Maybe we
say,
can get the one that was at the Capitol yesterday.
hey.
Excuse me. But yeah, it's just the most surreal feeling, but it's really, really awesome to be able to, drive around and, excuse me. TJ says, I just jumped in the pool. The neighbors 3 blocks away don't like that. TJ, whatever. Oh, go. And let's see. Liam, being warmer would be nice. We had 10 days of sunshine, and that's our summer. I heard that about you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess 10 days is better than nothing. I don't know. Oh, well, hopefully you'll get some sort of summer. I don't know why my voice is trying to leave me. I think it's just saying time to shut up. That's very possible.
I would say you're probably right, Rhonda.
Gosh, I don't know. I can't talk anymore. You guys have to talk, and we're gonna have to end the show. My voice is not working.
Yep, I think we're done with this, don't you? Kay says, yep. Can you not?
I thought Kay was talking. If she was talking, she's muted.
She was talking muted. I said, just say peace out and be done.
I was gonna say, so we are gonna end it here. We gotta have dinner. Kay's probably started dinner by now, so I want to give everybody a chance to say something. Susan, do you have any other comments that you'd like to make about any of it that we talked about or anything?
Peace out.
Peace out. Okay, I think everybody's ready to end. Sheree, what you got?
Well, thank you for the podcast and reading out the arrest warrant. It shows again the enormous lies that it's all a lie. Thank you.
By the way, special mention and shout out to Cherie's husband, whom I am affectionately referred to as Rose. But Jim is here with Cherie, and he's number one, he's a really fun man, a really fun guy to hang out with.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
He's really a lot of fun. He really is. And he's a great sport. And we're going to have ice cream later tonight. And I'm pretty confident that Jim is going to serve all 4 of us ladies our ice cream. And I'm here for it. Just saying. He's a really awesome guy and a great sport and a lot of fun to hang out with. Especially, poor Jim. He's hanging out with 4 women. It's got to be a challenge. I don't know because I'm not in his shoes, but it's got to be challenging. So
he's a good sport.
He's been a great sport. So we really do appreciate you, Jim, if you hear this. Okay, and then Jack, if you got anything you would like to add to our enjoyment? You should probably unmute if you'd like us to hear you.
Sorry, I was talking to my son.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well, yeah. Sorry. Number one, sorry I was late, but some things I had to take care of. Number 2, I have to thank Sister Susan for her reading and rendition of this warrant or charging document. I really had no idea you could work vajayjay into a document so seamlessly well.
So naturally.
Hey, when it comes to Kim Davis, it's easy. Easy as pie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just work at vajayjay, and he was making her show everything. Actually,
he was twirling his penis around her vagina.
Yeah. I can really hear her saying that she wants that for herself. I'm sorry I had to go there, but I'm just saying, her mannerisms about Daniel are
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Creepy.
effing. I'm not going to say
Disgusting.
I'm not going to say the entire word, but effing weird.
Yeah.
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 Anyway,
Well, I'm pretty sure if we can save the JJ
yeah. There
and
you go.
hoo-ha and penis, I'm pretty sure you can say fucking.
There you go.
I'm okay with it.
So, and then,
Oh.
anyway, a little plug for this weekend. Of course, reading with the crew on Saturday, and we're gonna have a special guest this Saturday.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
I'll be listening on my drive home.
There's going to be some really interesting things you're not going to want to miss.
I won't.
Seriously. And then, of course, Sunday, open mic.
He wants all of us to join his open mic so we can have fun and laugh. Lighten the mood. Just kidding.
That's right. Hey, if we can't laugh at ourselves a little bit and the world, it's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
Is that more calls, Jack? Your open mic?
Yeah, we'll either do phone calls or I'd really kind of like to finish those up before I move on. At least finish this one because I think I'm going to stick with the miscellaneous calls and do at least one more open mic before I switch off and go to the depositions or the reports. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So 5 o'clock, both are 5 o'clock Central. Hope you can be there. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Kay, Cherie, and Susan, and everybody in chat. You guys were great tonight. Hopefully it was a little less serious and a little more fun. And until next time, peace out.